Doppler effect.
I wanted to talk before you made some kind of really horrible noise.
Noises.
Now I'm just gonna press start before you know it. So be like, hey everyone, and you can't be like, oh, I can't make horrifying noises that will make people turn off the video.
A, I would not refer to it as horrifying. B, I assume that is the reason people listen to the podcast. And C, I would not say it with that accent.
I'm gonna check my Google Analytics, and I'm gonna see people who turn off this episode in the first 2 seconds because of you making a horrible noise.
Everyone, Omega sounds like she's from New York.
I don't! New Yorkers, write the show. You know I'm not one of you.
Write down in the comments that she sounds like she's from New York, whether it's true or not, just so we can overpower her with popularity.
I'm from Philly.
I know. Philadelphia and New York sound the same.
No, they don't. They're so different, though.
They've both got buildings.
They really are. Anyway, welcome to episode 110. Episode 110 of Lesbian Talk.
110, wow.
Yeah, because the last one was 109, so logically following.
It makes logical sense that it is 110, considering it's 110 days since the last one. Ooh, burn!
It's like a week. It's not like a fake alt title.
Burn.
Anyway, so how have you been this week? Wife that I spent the week with. Okay.
I watched Pootie Time. What a ta. It was crap.
Oh, how are you, audience? We didn't I have not watched anything. No, that's not true. We watched a film for notes that was so bad that you fell asleep during.
Yeah, I was I had some mean insomnia earlier in the week, so I had 2 hours sleep over 2 days. And if you saw my Twitter storm earlier on this week, that's partially why that happened. But yeah, I the tiredness sort of hit me like a wall whenever Robin was over helping take notes for a patron request review. I mean, I already had a set of... I've seen the film before. I took notes for it beforehand with a different person, with Barry, who helps me out with notes sometimes. But I like to watch the film twice for notes. And this is the second time, so I handed Omega the pad and said, please write funny things. I will write script.
Well, the joke's on you, because after Robin left, and while you were still asleep, I ate the last Bakewell tart. Dun, dun, dun! Because there were 4 in the pack. They're good. They're wee little tarts with things inside. The cherry thing. It's nice.
Insomnia also has some amazing side effects for creativity. Well, not so much for creativity.
The text that I got, I'm going to Tesco because I'm high.
On tiredness.
Yeah. I was like, all right.
I was so fucking tired that I decided, okay, it's the second night in 2 nights of staying up all night. And I decided that I would go shopping first thing in the morning. I was supposed to go down the street.
Didn't even have to be, I think I didn't have to be in uni until later. And so she was like, I'm going to the grocery. And I'm like, all right, I don't know. And then I got a text, I'm going to Tesco. And I was like, all right.
Yeah, the original shop was just down the street, and Tesco was 15 minutes walk away. And I was so fucking tired that basically I was at the wired stage, but I was also at the not giving a shit about anything stage, and I was at the I'm feeling quite good about this stage all at once, so it felt like being high.
I can't remember if you bought anything weird because of it.
No, I didn't.
Oh. Yeah, you did. You bought me Doom for the PS4.
That was a different day.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I bought you Doom the next day or something.
She came back, she's like, here, and I was like, what? Well, why am I getting presents?
Because you like Doom.
I do.
But, yeah, it does astounding things for your editing, because I managed to get a fuckload of editing done, which was great.
What time did you get up this morning? You got up pretty early.
At 7.
I say as I have to get up at 7 tomorrow,
But she hasn't played Doom yet, but on the same day I bought myself Sniper Elite 3 because I saw the honest game trailer for Sniper Elite 4. I've never even heard of this series because I'm not a first-person shooter fan. But then I was like, holy fuck, you get to be a World War II sniper and you get these X-ray CGI skeleton muscle animations showing the damage you do with each shot. Fuck yeah. So Sniper Elite 4 cost a fuckload because it's new, so I was like, I'll buy Sniper Elite 3, assuming it's probably basically the same, for much cheaper, and it was fucking awesome.
So yeah, the reason that I haven't played Doom yet is I have a presentation next Thursday. I've got the slides nearly done for it. I just need to finish them up. I want to get my dissertation finished by the end of the month. I only really have a little bit more to go on that. Then I have 2 essays due in March that I need to start on. So I will play it. I might play it a wee bit on Sunday. But so I'm working on something, you know, for Peace and Conflict, describing the history of conflict in the Democratic Republic of Congo as applies to like various like social identity theory and stuff like that. And you know, honey, look. Or, like, I turn around, I'm like, oh no, is there a bug? What's happening? And like every single time, I'm gonna kill someone. Watch. And I'm like, you're like a little 4-year-old sitting there, stop, mommy, look, mommy, look, Haribo, mommy, look.
Well, in my defense, each time it was awesome seeing like a person getting their heart exploded or their balls ripped apart. You even had some amazing ones like getting it through a tank's little sort of window thing and getting to the guy, destroying the driver's face. Or my personal favorite, which is still the best one I've done, I think, where I hit a guy in the shoulder and he fell on the ground. He was injured, but he was about to get up, probably. And I shot again. Not deliberately doing this, but I managed to get him in the balls. You know, his legs were sort of spread wide. It traveled right up his body and either out his shoulder or out his head. And it's like, oh boy.
We went to bed last night.
So many jokes I could make.
And she hugged me tight and she said, apparently there's a part.
It's called a Massandry special.
In Sniper Elite 3, what is like 6 people in a row you can testicle shot?
8.
According
to TV tropes, there's a part where you can get 8 people with testicle shots at once. I don't know where it is. I've not done it. I did actually kill 3 people with one shot, though.
That's pretty good.
The bullet went through 3 of them. And they did it another time. It's the same 3 because I died after doing it, just with the 3 bullets. Mm-hmm. Then I died and came back and redid it. And I got the 3 again, but the third... went through one guy, hit a second guy in a grenade that was holding in his uniform, blew him up and killed the third one. It's like, yeah.
And she was like, look. I blew up the tank.
Yeah.
On an unrelated note, so...
fucking awesome.
I work at a shopping center and I work in a mall, and it's a lot easier to just run up and use the public toilets on the level above us, because we're right at the escalator. It's right there. Than it is to go all the way down to our office down in the service floor. So basically, if you want to run up the toilet, it's a good way to burn 5 minutes or something. And so I was using the toilet, and there was this wee girl with, it sounded like a few other kids and her mom, and all she screamed the entirety of the time that I was in the toilet was, I want bickies and a babyccino! Oh, yeah, I want bickies and a babyccino!
What's a babyccino?
I'm guessing it's like a pretendy cappuccino for babies. For kids, it probably doesn't have any caffeine in it. Like a cappuccino, would normally be made with espresso. But I guess a babyccino is a cappuccino, I don't even know. It might be what we used to call a steamer, which is just steamed milk, and then you can add a flavor if you want.
Okay.
But I don't know. There's just something so hard. I mean, Bickies is we would say cookie. You know, it's a biscuit. But, this horrible little child just howling for Bickies and a babyccino. And I was like, never has there been a more middle-class thing than this. And I was so annoyed. Because I had a sinus headache most of the day. I'm like, I really hope you get none of those things, child.
That's fascinating, but it has nothing to do with me killing things.
No, I was just thinking about... Because I was still thinking about kids shouting at their mom to look what they're doing, and so...
And just so you know, I'm so bad... at first-person shooters, I deliberately only playing it on casual because I don't really care about being late. But it has the hilarious side effect because the guy you're playing is the voice of Clancy Brown. So I just imagine that it's an alternate reality version of the Kurgan because, he's mopping up bullets like nothing normal. And then he's surviving. So I assume alternate reality Kurgan where the immortals have worked out that the game is fucking stupid and they all just living their lives doing what they want to do, and the Kurgan wants to kill people.
I just think it's weird that, you're in part of the Northern African campaign, and you're the only allied soldier.
You have a couple of British guys turn up, but basically, yeah. You got this guy, this fucking sniper is sent out to destroy an entire airfield worth of guys, 100 guys, plus multiple tanks. It's like, I'm just a fucking sniper. It's a good thing I'm actually the Kurgan, or this could get really bad. It's fucking ridiculous.
And while we were setting up to record, I said, maybe you should download the DLC where you get to kill Hitler. And apparently that's a thing.
It is. It's Hunt the Grey Wolf, something like that. I'll download it at some point.
See, like, I played the first Call of Duty, Medal of Honor, when, like, I don't know. I just, like, it's like a really great power fantasy to, like, oh, you know, I, like, killed all the bad guys and I saved Western civilization. No, I'm sorry, Medal of Honor was a separate series. I did play the first Call of Duty, but I was no good at it, but, like, I don't know. It's just too real now. Nazis are too real.
That's why you gotta kill them in video games.
Yeah, I guess. But then, like, at what point does it become just another power fantasy? Because, like, it would be like, and I'm not trying to...
See, that's the sort of question that if you bring up in a YouTube video about video games, a lot of people get angry at you, and then you have another Anita Sarkeesian situation.
Well, no, I mean, like, I'm not saying that a power fantasy is a bad thing, because, I mean, routinely I'll get annoyed at a game, and like, look, sometimes I don't want a challenge, you know? Like, I play really difficult, like, puzzle matching games on my, like, you know, on my phone if I want a challenge. I'll do a crossword if I want a challenge. Sometimes I just want to have a big fuck-off buster sword, or magical powers, or a motherfucking mech. I want to stomp around and I just want to be the fucking best. Yeah. Like no one ever was, bitches. Like, you know, so I freely admit it, you know? Sometimes if I'm starting a new game that I really don't understand, I'll put it on the easiest level because, you know what? I just want to tromp on through and be the big goddamn hero. And, you know, no matter what else is happening in the world, I'm the best warrior. You know, I'm the best mage. I'm the best whatever I'm doing. My mechs are the best.
Someone should do a sketch about what it would be like if other forms of art operate like video games. Because, you know, in video games, you only got a part of the game until you've proven yourself worthy to go into the next part. And I really do think that's unfair because no other art isolates itself from people who aren't deeply into it or don't have the coordination or whatever. Like, for instance, you can't go into an art gallery, look at a Mark Rothko, and then only get to see a small, 2x4-inch section of it until you understand that shade of blue was invented by him. And then you get to see another bit of the blue, and then you have to understand something else about the blue until you've got this entire 10-foot by 10-foot thing. It's just solid fucking blue.
Except 1/4 of it is DLC. You have to pay extra.
Yeah, you gotta pay extra for just another bit of the blue.
You must appreciate this much of Guernica before you can go on.
Yeah, it's fucking ridiculous, and I know there's a bunch of.
Well, books are like that. Like if you really aren't getting it, you'll stop reading.
Well, yeah, but that's you choosing to stop reading. It's not like the book makes you fill out a quiz, and if you don't give the right answers, it explodes.
Oh, that would be great! Like
or the pages are blank.
If you went to go see a play, and then you had to answer like an essay question, during the intermission, and if you don't get the themes right, you're kicked out. You can't say they won't do the second act for you. Yeah, that'd be a brilliant bit of performance art.
You can get a brilliant set of sketches out of this just idea. I mean, there are games fans who are quite into the idea that you have to be really, really good at it in order to play it, and I'm gotta say I find that a bit childish because
I mean some people want a challenge. It's one of those things where like you can appreciate something the way that you want to, but understand that not everybody will like what you like. Like
how about this? Every game should have an easy mode, a really fucking hard mode, an impossible mode, and fucking God mode. You should have the complete variety for it.
Well, it's like my old roommate Neil when I lived at Teddy the Minion's house. Like, he played all the Dark Souls games, he played Bloodborne, he's like a super black belt ninja at everything. And I would like wander downstairs to like, fry an egg or something like that. I'd be like, no, come on, no, oh, that goddamn little demon snakes. But he derived great enjoyment from this. I downloaded Dark Souls because it was, for a while, I forget if it was a promotion, but for some reason I had 6 months of free Xbox Live Gold before I had to pay for it. And the monthly download was Dark Souls. And I'm like, I've heard a lot about this, I might as well. It took me like 3 fucking hours to beat the first boss. And then I was in the first area and I fell off a cliff trying to get a coin or something, and I was like, I think I paid too much for this free game. But like, no, I'm not saying that a power fantasy is a bad thing. Coming back to my original point, it's just that like with historical stuff, I don't know, like you get the kind of people, and I hate to be sexist, but you would get these middle-aged men who were just obsessed with like World War II. You know, if it was something like they were obsessed with Vietnam, okay, because they might have been, you know, old enough that they could have gone, or had an older brother that went, or they remembered it in their lifetimes. But like so many people, so many guys, you know, will be like, oh, I need the war, we should talk about the war, as if it's like, you know, the afternoon football or something, you know. And just there's something about it weirded me out. I'm like, it's kind of like, you know, furiously masturbating for decades upon decades about the last time America did something like really militarily worthwhile. It wasn't a horrific quagmire or something we shouldn't have been involved in the first place. And it just seems to me like this kind of like very weird masturbation.
Don't know if I'd call it masturbation, but it is a bit. It is the last unequivocally, definitely good war.
Like, I wonder how many people, especially, you know, not baby boomers, but the children of baby boomers, who, you know, grew up hearing about, oh, how great World War, you know, oh, we went in and kicked some butt and stuff. Like, of course, never the actual war really, really sucks and gives you PTSD. If you're lucky, you get away with just that. You know, but they're like, oh, yeah, where these colors don't lead, we're going to go get them all, the things and stuff. Who really think that warfare still is boots on the ground. It's not all drones. And I wonder how much of that, like, you know...
Are you suggesting it's the baby boomers who are a bunch of people who grew up in the shadow of the ones who fought World War II and are trying to claim similar glory as happened in World War II, and they're constantly going after us and constantly fucking
and the
it
thing
up
is that
because
they've passed that on to some degree to their children as well.
It's possible. I mean, baby boomers, as a generation, not the best generation, shall we say.
But I mean, like, people who have been to, like, who fought in Korea, who fought in Vietnam, who fought in the Gulf War, who fought in Afghanistan and the Middle East and stuff like that. It really, really, really fucking sucks being at war. Like, people are trying to kill you, and the only way to not be killed is to kill other people. That's something that's... And it's antithetical to human psychology for a great deal of the population. Not all of the population, obviously, otherwise no one would kill anyone ever, but, like, I mean, that's why, you know, veterans come home, even if they are physically uninjured, with a lot of mental issues, because that's really hard, you know? Like, I don't know. It gets me not to be some big heroic thing, but I don't know.
It was very heroic when I shot that guy in the balls.
No, but see... But, like, when I was playing the first Medal of Honor game, you know, oh, it felt great, you know, like, sneaking around the French countryside at night, you know, and, like, aha, I'm you know, killing the Nazis, I'm gonna kill Hitler, oh, this is so great, so wonderful and heroic and stuff like that. But, at the same time, I don't know, it just ties into this kind of weird idea of what we think of as heroic, like, you know, John McCain, who, as much as I don't really like a lot of his political ideals, you know, was a prisoner of war for a really long time, and he was tortured, and it was pretty horrific. And then to have Donald Trump turn on and say, well, I like people who aren't captured. Like, the idea that people during the Normandy invasion who, like, you know, ran right off the boat and straight into a face full of bullets, and that was the end of the day for them. You know, that they weren't brave somehow? I don't know, it just... I think I like having a big fuck-off buster sword or a mech or magical powers a lot better than, you know, actual real-life kind of stuff.
Each to their own. You know, like the game I was playing beforehand was Lego Marvel. Lego Marvel Avengers. Not as good as Lego Marvel.
Yeah, it's getting, like, really weirdly puzzle gamey, and not as much fun to play in two-player.
Yeah, Lego Marvel, the original, they created their own Marvel universe with, you know, actors cast as each character. You had the X-Men and all there, and it was fairly cohesive, and you had like 12 levels, and they were big, and they did various things. Lego Marvel Avengers is based on the MCU, so you've only got MCU characters, or ones they have the rights for, or whatever, and they use as much of the original dialogue as possible, so you get bits where you get really distractingly, using lines in the wrong context, or they're cutting part of them down, or the visuals are changing the context, and the levels have changed from one big level, usually, to a bunch of smaller ones that do some weird things to try and shoehorn in the film's action. It's like, not as good.
Yeah, and I think the playable demo that we first played, it's the kind of thing where if you had two people playing it, there was stuff that, you could, like, switch off and, one, oh, I need you to be Thor and go do that thing. Okay, yeah, okay, that's great. But then this, like, it'd be like, player 2, fly around and strafe the drones, while player 1 plays the entire level. And you're like, this is surprisingly unfun for me.
Yeah, there's one part of it where they're recreating the Korean chase in Ultron, where one player is Captain America on top of the big truck fighting Ultron drones, and the other one is playing Black Widow on the bike behind him, holding, like, his shield, and she does fuck all. She can't be knocked over, and she's just got to drive behind them trying to avoid cars, but doesn't actually do anything if she hits them, while Captain America fights those guys and does some other events until she can finally give him the shield. It's fucking useless.
Yeah. We downloaded the Force Awakens Lego, but that was an exercise in frustration.
Yeah, that was crap.
Finally, I was like, let's stop playing this. This is not intuitive.
Yeah, the original Star Wars prequel and original trilogy.
Oh, that was great, because you could use that See, I think that could be a model.
6.
That could be a model for how to do Lego Doctor Who.
Yeah, that's what they should do.
The TARDIS would be your hub, and then you could have 12 doors, each leading to a different Doctor's adventures, and that would be their level, and you could unlock stuff, and it would be great.
Yeah.
And they have, but see, that's why I'm so angry with the whole Lego Dimensions thing, because it's not going to be Amiibo. Stop trying to make it be Amiibo. And second of all, it's hideously expensive. I'm not going to plunk down, like, 140 pounds.
Yeah.
First of all.
For a model and a handful of levels and some items and shit. No,
I could just watch someone doing it I could watch a Let's Player do it for free.
Just give us a Doctor Who Lego game, and
you already have the license.
Not an adventure type one that does random shit. Please, just basic slapstick comedy and puzzle adventure Lego thing.
Oh yeah.
Nothing too taxing, just silly stuff.
You could unlock all the companions and all the various bad guys and 3 different Davrossi. The Rossi?
I hear that's a Canadian teen soap opera.
That's Degrassi. No, I'd play that. That'd be pretty cool. See, why doesn't the games industry listen to us? We're women, they're supposed to be pandering to us, aren't they?
3 different Davrosses? Which one's not going to be there?
No, I was kidding, honey. I was just saying, like, you could, like, all the different versions of it.
Is it, because there was the one from... There was Genesis of the Daleks, there was Destiny of the Daleks, then, of course, there was Terry Malloy, my personal favourite, who was all of the 80s.
You could unlock all of the Masters?
I wasn't finished.
Okay.
And then there's the new series, Davros.
Okay, well, all of them if you want.
Yeah. Although I'm fine with having 3, because, Destiny of the Daleks is David Goodison, and honestly, he wasn't. He was the Scottish Davros.
And one of the things you could unlock would be alternate uniforms. So you could have the 6 Doctor's blue outfit.
That'd be good.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. So Lego, if you're listening right to the show, we won't even make you pass licensing. Actually, we can't because BBC owns everything. But
the only problem I can see with trying to map out a Lego Doctor Who is differentiating the Doctors with abilities, because most of the people don't have much in the way of abilities, and they all have the sonic screwdriver. Most of them have the sonic screwdriver.
Is that the sonic screwdriver do like something different for each Doctor?
You could. Well, what you could do otherwise is, like for instance, 4 could use his scarf to do something.
Oh yeah, there you go.
2 would be able to maybe jump higher. 1 has his walking stick, because he didn't actually...
He could thwack people with it.
Yeah, he could thwack people with it. He also had a blue ring to hypnotize people.
7 has an umbrella.
Yeah, he could thwack people with that and jump high.
10 has his angst.
6 never used the sonic except in Big Finish.
He has an umbrella. He could thwack people with that.
He has, or he could, but he also had a sonic lance in one episode, so that could be a slightly different weapon, more offensive.
3 could have karate abilities.
Yeah, you could. It would just take some mapping out. Unlike superheroes, it's much easier with superheroes, but with other ones, it's harder.
Yeah, that's true. They think of something. That's what they get paid to do. This woman had to make a return today because two of the things that she got, and she got them like an hour before. I think she rang up someone else, and they didn't ring up right. So I had to wait on supervisor to come up, and her wee boy was like, "Oh, Pokemon cards!" Because we carry Pokemon cards, and they're $3.99. So £1 that's like nearly a $5. Actually, that's probably it's over a $5
Probably.
right now at the exchange. So like $5. I don't know what they're going for in America. But we also have these really big box sets, so you get actually quite a lot of stuff for $18.99. And she's like, "Oh my god, why are they so expensive? Match attacks are football cards." She's like, "They're just £1 a pack." I was like, "Yeah, I mean, because we were wondering about that." And I was like, "Oh, is it an import?" But I looked on the back. They're licensed by Nintendo International, but they're produced in the UK, so they're not an import. It's just they're just expensive because they're in demand. And she was like, "I know, like Lego. I mean, he collects the minifigures, and they're $2.50 each, and that's if they're not rare ones. If you want to buy rare ones in the collection you don't have to go online and all the stuff." And I was saying, well, when I was little, I remember you just had bought a big old tub of Legos, and they were all different colors. You just made a house,
Yeah.
you know, like. But now you can't. I don't even think you can even buy a box of random Legos. You have to buy sets to make one specific thing, and it's like, I'm gonna make this licensed intellectual property today,
Which is good for Lego, I suppose, for selling random shit, but not so good for creativity.
Well, I mean, basically...
Isn't that the underlying theme of the Lego movie, though?
No.
Creativity and creativity and putting random things together versus following the instructions slavishly and, not playing with them.
Yeah. Well, I mean... so unprofessional. Is that even important?
I'll find out.
No. But yeah, I mean, I'm sure, like, if you went to the Lego store, you could still conceivably buy a big old tub of Legos, but... Although I guess that's why Minecraft is so popular with little kids, though. It's because it's basically Lego on computer. You know what I mean? Was it so unimportant?
That is the person coming to hopefully fix our toilet tomorrow.
Oh, good. So, like, last night, we realized that the toilet was refilling very slowly. And we took the lid off the tank, or the cistern, or whatever, and now it's like refilling drip by drip. So we had to call maintenance, or the leasing agent. We're like, we really need someone. Because to flush the toilet now, you have to fill a pitcher up with water, take the cistern lid off, fill the cistern up with water from the pitcher, and then flush the toilet. And I'm color me not pleased about this, but...
It's a very, very, very special bonding experience for us.
It's not a bonding experience. I could do it myself, but you're worried about doing it.
Well, I'm worried that I'll rip the top off, because you yelled at me previously.
Because you pulled it off and that little squidget came off.
She yells at me all the time about
It's because we have a very
things.
cheap toilet, and, like, we don't have a handled toilet, it's the push-button ones. But see, the push-button thingy is not, like... Basically, it's held in with blue tack right now. And so she pulled it off, and I didn't know how to get it back in, and I had my hands all gross with toiletness, and I was very angry about it.
Save me, she's going to abuse me about toilets again. I watched other... Whoa.
Is it the last plumber? Last time we had a plumber, because we have an electric shower, which is not as horrific as it sounds, and it just suddenly stopped working about a month after we moved in, so we had to get a plumber to come, and he came from Belfast, and then he put a new one in, and then he went away, and then that one died 2 days later. So he comes back, puts a different one in, and then he went away, and then I had to call him again because I discovered an hour after he'd left that he hadn't turned the water back on in the apartment. So...
Well, I don't know if it's the same guy, but when he says tomorrow as T-O space Morrow.
Tomorrow.
Well, as long as he does the plumbing well, that's perfectly cool.
What a great episode this is. Us talking about how I'm bad at video games and want to power fantasy and the toilet.
Well, that's what happens when you don't come up with a series of bullet points, but what we have to talk about.
When do I ever... I used up all my bullet points in my presentation about the history of conflict in the Democratic Republic of Congo, which basically, as I was talking to a friend of mine in class, because...
the subtitle is Belgium, it's your fault.
Yeah, basically, Belgium fucked shit up. And she's like, seriously? And I'm like telling her how, like, Belgium fucked everything up. And she's like, oh, damn. And I was like, yeah, 140 years of conflict, and it's all the Belgians' fault.
What can we say? We like the waffles.
That was German.
Do you know what a Belgian sounds like?
They sound like David Suchet.
And that motherfucker is
It's
always
English anyway.
Yeah, he's English, but Poirot was always mistaken for a French guy.
Well, because he...
So I decided to to throw you a curveball by pretending to be German rather than being French, because it's like poor Belgians, they don't have any identity of their own. That's why they're angry. At least the Dutch. The Dutch are mistaken for being like some sort of weird German-French hybrid, but the Belgians are just like some sort of appendix connected to France, and they're really upset about that. So they got so angry, they just burst out and landed in Congo, and then they made life worse for everyone. Then they went home and made waffles.
The Dutch are awesome.
That's the history of the conflicts in the Belgian Congo.
You know why the Dutch are awesome? Because they're really nice. When we went to Amsterdam, basically we walked into the hotel.
Except for people at the airport.
Yeah. Well, no.
Remember I had a bad experience at the airport.
Oh, right, yeah. But like... So
I cried.
She didn't cry. But we got to the hotel, which is like... It was a 3-star hotel. It was like this big old Victorian house. It was really awesome. So we walk in. We hadn't said anything to each other. So we gave no indication that we were English speakers. Your man is sitting there at the front desk, looks up. There was a huge fluffy white cat sitting and whisking its tail on the counter. And he goes, "Oh, hello." Pushes, like, unceremoniously just pushes the cat off. Like, goes, "Oh, would you like to check it in English?" And, like, people, this kept happening. That, like, Dutch people would come up to us, or, like, you know, we were at a stoplight, because there's a really intricate system between the bike path and the footpath and, like, the car, or, like, the street. And so we were waiting for the light to turn. And this woman pedaled up to us. We had not been speaking English to each other. She goes, "Oh, it takes so long to turn, doesn't it?" And just, like, starts chatting with us about the weather in English. And I was like, what? But then all the Eastern European people who worked there were mean and yelled at us. €5. I'm so sorry.
At least there was a cat.
Or like when you wanted a churro and you had to order like a dozen.
Yeah.
They wouldn't sell her a place that did churro. They wouldn't sell her a single churro. She had to get a dozen of these huge super long churros, and we couldn't eat a dozen churros.
Yeah, this is true. But I gotta tell you, every single hotel should give the option of like cat if you want. Like you go to the hotel and certain rooms will have like cat flaps on them, and you have like 4 or 5 cats living in the hotel. So just imagine you go to the hotel and you wake up in the morning and then there's like a cat there.
I'm behind you on that.
This is such a good idea.
As long as like there's like rooms they can't go into because of people with allergies.
Well, yeah, that's why you get a non-cat room.
Yeah, okay. I want to
go.
go.
That's why you choose. Do you want a cat room? Do you want a non-cat room?
I want to go back to Amsterdam. It was really great because we didn't see half the hotels we should have. Although we did see dead bodies.
Hotels we should have.
I mean museums. We did go on the canal tour and see dead bodies. So
we saw apparently we saw the crapper of the 2 torture museums.
It was really bad. But yeah, the sex museum was fun because I got a picture of you consulting a 7-foot penis for directions.
Well, as you do.
As you do. But so anyway, the thing we're actually going to talk about today, which we probably should get to before we're out of time, is, DC. Putting their foot in it.
Well, yes. DC. There was a time when DC did good animated films and bad live action films, and that time is now, although they stopped doing good animated films.
Like, I really enjoyed
except for the Lego stuff, but that's Lego doing it. That's not DC doing it.
Yeah, that's just Lego using everyone else's property. Within reason. But, like, I really love Batman the Animated Series. Like, I watched it, like, every day after school.
Yeah, the guys who did that, they were behind the Batman, what fucking hell, Batgirl getting shot in the spine.
Oh, Killing Joke?
Yeah, they were behind that live action, that adaptation, and it was shit and completely misunderstood the storyline.
Yeah, but that was a long time ago. Maybe they've lost their edge. I mean, it was a long time ago they did the animated series. But, like, just everything I hear out of them. Like, I was talking to a coworker of mine today, and she was saying how basically, like, I didn't know that there was a Flash movie that was being worked on, but apparently everyone loves the show. I don't like the Flash. I don't like much DC property, so I have not been watching it. But everyone who talks about it online just does so glowingly.
It's really weird with DC. They have their TV universe is completely separate from their film universe.
But apparently their TV universe is good, though.
Yeah.
Because, like, she was saying that, you know, all of the stuff that people liked about the TV Flash, he said, I'm not going to do that. It's going to be gritty and dark and things and stuff. And she's like, oh.
Yeah, it's like, if DC want their films to be done sensibly, they really should just give it over to the guys who do the DC TV stuff. Because basically the DC TV, it's basically what Marvel does.
Although it apparently isn't Gotham bad.
Gotham is not part of the quote-unquote Arrowverse.
Oh, okay.
The Arrowverse is the CW one, which includes Arrow, its spin-off Flash, spin-off Legends of Tomorrow. I believe Supergirl comes under that as well. While Gotham is its own thing. But the Arrowverse, that is basically MCU done in the DC universe. And hilariously, the Netflix Marvel ones are essentially the DC extended universe done in the Marvel universe on TV, but competently. In that the Netflix ones are really dark and brooding and horrible.
I like Daredevil. I watched most of season 1.
Yeah,
I don't like Jessica Jones. I just don't like the actress who plays her. I don't like her character. I just don't like anything about it.
That's fair enough. But the Netflix ones, they are dark and brooding just like the DC films, but they're done well.
Right. It's just like, I mean, and isn't like, so Ben Affleck was going to direct Batman and now he's not. Now some other guy who's always going to do it anyway is doing it.
Yeah, Matt Reeves was going to do it and then he wasn't going to do it and now he is going to do it.
Who is he? What? Should I know him from somewhere?
He did the upcoming Planet of the Apes film. He did the last Planet of the Apes film with Andy Serkis playing Caesar.
I only saw the first Planet of the Apes one with the one that Tim Burton did years and years ago. And I enjoyed it.
So you saw the only Planet of the Apes thing that didn't get a sequel in any form.
I enjoyed it. I thought it was good.
I put that one under good in parts, bad in most.
I just liked how, like, you know, they did the practical.
Yeah, the makeup was fantastic. The costuming was great. The look was brilliant. The music was great. Everything else was terrible.
Oh, cry about it. And then, see, I'd been looking forward to the Wonder Woman movie for one very big reason, because it's set during World War I, and when I was in school growing up, back in the day,
World War Wonder Woman.
Like World War I, the Great War, we just never talked about. We didn't talk about the politics around it or anything like that. It was basically, and then there was the war. And then after the war, and then we would do we would go, you know, right from the Civil War and the Underground Railroad to Prohibition and the Great Depression and the Harlem Renaissance. Like, we literally, and in high school, I became curious. I'm like, it's called the Great War for some reason. And I had to do independent research to find out, wow, Jesus Christ, the First World War was pretty goddamn serious. And, like, I like stuff set during that time. I mean,
to be fair, World War I is like Alien, in that everyone involved dies. Mm-hmm. And it was the original one, and it was like, holy shit, this is monumental. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, years later came out World War II, which is like Aliens, where you've got like the entire, you know, it stole its thunder because it was bigger scale, at least it feels like bigger scale. I know more people died in World War I, at least soldiers. Mm-hmm. It's got better technology.
And then it ended with a nuke.
Yeah, it was much bigger.
Oh my god, it is a AAA blockbuster.
Yeah, it's like, so World War I is the now mostly, you know, feels mostly forgotten original. Oh, another comparison is Terminator and Terminator 2, where it's been surpassed by a sequel that was more famous.
Oh my god, you're right. I mean, like, not for nothing, like, this is the 100-year anniversary of the Battle of the Somme, which is really important in Ireland because a lot of Irish troops were involved, like the ones that did end up going off to fight with the British Army. So we have a lot of books coming out about that, but they're not.
It was before partitioning, so they would have automatically been in the British Army if they were
soldiers. Yeah, I know,
but
a lot of them didn't. Didn't a lot of them take like a desertion thing rather than go?
I do not believe that you were legally obliged to sign up for the war in World War One. I think that it was a case of you chose to sign up, at least in the early parts of the war.
Yeah, but I know a lot of Irish died at the Somme. Yeah. But, like, so I was looking forward to this. I'm like, wow, a historical, you know, this looks like it could be cool. And then, but apparently, like, test audiences have been, well, people who've been to test screenings have said it's kind of bleak, really, and the comedy doesn't actually fit, and, you know.
Yeah, I saw a video of someone giving out a synopsis of what happens in the film. This is apparently based on, like, test audiences or something, and, basically, it's another, if this person is right, it's basically another DC Cinematic Universe one. It's dark, it's not very happy.
At least you won't be watching YouTube footage of, like, Aquaman.
Apparently, the framing device is Wonder Woman sending an email, and she's telling her story in the form of an email to Bruce Wayne.
That's so stupid.
But
Could she not Skype him?
She's like, I do not care about humankind, and here is my life story in the form of an email because this is very secure. And then at the end, she's like, this is how I learned to decide that humanity was worth protecting. But then something happened later on which convinced me not to do it. But now Superman's sacrifice has made me do it again.
That's so stupid.
And
like I was saying to a coworker, because of course, like there's a core group of us at work that are just big nerds, and this is totally encouraged for one of the supervisors who will come over, stop you from doing what you're doing, to be like, so I've been playing this game that I got off Steam, right? Which is great. But so I was talking to one coworker, and I was like, parts of the trailer are cool, like, her coming up over the trenches, and the person like raised their eyebrows, like, seriously, that is so cheesy. Oh my god. I'm like, yeah, but think about it. With her gauntlets, she can deflect bullets. Who better to lead a charge into no man's land than the person who can deflect machine gun bullets? And they were like, oh, yeah, that's actually a really good idea. Never mind.
Yeah, but her gauntlets are really small, though. If you got a bunch of guys firing, like, Gatling guns or whatever, then, there's physically going to be bits where she's unable to cover. And you can't see it, but I'm waving my arms around like she would with her gauntlets. She's going to be hitting places.
Maybe, like, they're using unobtainium in the razor wire. Even though it's copyright Marvel. Unobtainium? Isn't that what?
Unobtainium's a generic term.
Oh wait, no, what's the thing? Vibranium, that's what it is. I'm very tired. I was up early. I got a shit long day tomorrow.
But apparently there is humor there, but it's not very good. Feels ill-fitting. A bunch of characters feel like there's no reason for them to be there. One of the comments was the one with the mask has absolutely no reason to be there. She says like 2 lines, but at least she looks
Is
cool.
her name Katana? And you would advise her not to...
And apparently the villain is Ares. The entire war is being done by Ares, so he can use the power of war to conquer the world.
And then finally get Xena Warrior Princess to fall in love with him.
Well, if that was part of his plan, it doesn't quite work because Wonder Woman apparently kills him.
Oh, okay.
And because
where's Zeus then?
I don't know, but Zeus. But Wonder Woman has a sword, apparently, according to what I've saw in this video. A sword called the God Killer. But then she discovers that no, the sword's not the God Killer. She's the God Killer, and so she gets to kill Ares. And Ares is apparently David Thewlis, who was Remus Lupin, and was the English guy in The Island of Dr. Moreau.
He's kind of weedy though.
Yeah,
I wouldn't think of him as like beefy Ares.
Well, I suppose Ares can look like anything he wants to look
true.
like. But yeah, if I was a god of war, I would not.
The power to kill gods
him.
was within you the whole time, Dorothy.
Yeah.
Kratos. That sounds so stupid.
Now I want to see Kratos with wearing ruby slippers.
With that theme though, I'm liking the Wonder Woman theme.
No, the Wonder Woman theme sounds terrible. It sounds like an over-enthusiastic collection of gerbils trying to play fucking the starting of Immigrant Song by Led Zeppelin on the electronic bagpipes.
No, it has this nice brassy quality there. Like it sounds like
terrible.
Trumpets with a harmon mute.
That was terrible. I hate that.
Well, you're just wrong.
I'm allowed to be wrong. But in this case, I'm right.
I win. You realize too late that I won. Logical fallacies and sins. I win automatically. But I feel bad. I feel bad like slagging off DC because it just feels like it's so easy. Because it's like it's.
Well, they're making it easy.
It's like that child that I was whinging about who was screaming about her babyccino and stuff like that. I don't think I would have mentioned it if the child had been special needs, because you're like, oh, well, it's a special needs child, they have, issues and stuff like that, they probably, that's how they're communicating a want, rather than this child is obnoxious, needs to shut up. So it's like, kind of like, I feel kind of almost bad bagging on DC because it's just like, they're special needs at this point.
Well, I went on record on Twitter ages ago saying, I want the DC films to fail to such a degree that Warner Brothers sells the entire fucking thing to Disney, so we can finally get an MCU set Batman shit series on Netflix.
Yeah, for Christ's sake, just give it to Disney. Everything they touch turns to gold and diamonds and unicorns.
I realize it would be weird to have Batman as part of, DC being part of the Marvel universe. But come on, guys, this happened before. Captain Marvel started off as a different comics universe than Superman. DC, half of their fucking characters started off with other comic characters and they were absorbed somehow. This is very usual. Like in Marvel, they have Angela, the Angel, who started off as part of Spawn, and then as part of a 12-year legal battle between Neil Gaiman and Todd McFarlane, she finally ended up in Marvel for some reason. So it has precedent. It would be weird for a while, but you would get used to it. And just think, we would not have another fucking Batman film. Give him a long-form TV show, Netflix style, low, street level. Let him do detective shit. Beat people up. So much fucking better than giving another feature film where he has to battle someone over the top.
Yeah.
For 2 hours. Do proper detective crime fighting, maybe against just gangsters or some shit. Maybe just the Penguin's in charge of them, but do something different with Batman.
Give everything to Disney because they can turn the most wretched of wretches into gold. Except if that wretch's name's PewDiePie, apparently. Oh, topical. Oh, you had a weird synchronicity happen.
Did I?
Yes. Who did you meet in a taxi?
I met the guy who, he was a taxi driver. Apparently he's the guy who lived in our flat before we moved in.
And she was like, you'll never guess who I met. And I was like, who? The person that used to live here. Oh, where'd you meet them? He drove me home. He was a taxi driver.
Because he knew where
Inception.
He knew where I was driving, and he was like, what flat are you in? And I said, and he was like, oh my god, I used to live there.
She's like, are you responsible for the wallpaper? He's like, yeah.
The wallpaper that looks like an Amstrad loading up.
I mean, fair play. Like, the wallpaper was, well applied, and the paint job was does look to be a professional job, so.
And I like the purple, and I like the red.
Yeah. It's like that accent wall thing that was really, popular a while back. But, yeah, I mean, DC. I mean, what more can you say? You know what we should do when we're done Lex Appeal?
If we're ever done Lex
Shut
Appeal.
up, we will.
I want to watch Lex all the time, but you're like,
I'm trying
no,
to get into grad school.
I don't want to watch Lex. I hate fun.
Once a lot of this stuff... I have a presentation in less than a week. I've got 2 2,000-word essays due next month. I need to finish my dissertation. I have another presentation due after the spring break. I'm trying to get another research project done.
You see, Omega hates fun. She just admitted it.
The PhD interviews, and I'll have 2 exams, 2 3-hour exams, mind.
Well, I have done. I do videos.
I mean, I spent most of the past 6 to 8 months working on a research paper that. Well, I'm actually pretty pleased with it. We submitted it, my supervisor and I, to a fairly prestigious journal. In the field, and it's actually been accepted for peer review, as I was tweeting and putting on Facebook. So I'm pretty pleased about that. So if they come back with just minor revisions that we can do, make it published, and that would be pretty cool. And I could say, I have scienced! But what I was going to say is, if after we get Lex Appeal done, we should do Birds of Prey, that one season.
I'm fine with that. That's where Mark Hamill did the voice of the live-action Joker.
Yeah. Because, I mean, I bought it for, I think $5 once. And then I watched 2 episodes, and I'm like, wow, this sucks.
Yeah, Mina Sawari as Harley Quinn.
Yeah.
Harley Quinn nearly turned up in live action before that. She was supposed to be in Batman Triumphant, which was the greenlit and planned Batman 5 from, it's going to be Joel Schumacher. But then the critical reception to Batman and Robin was so bad, they stopped making Batman films. It's one of the few times when financially the film did really well. I believe it actually outperformed Batman Forever, or at least Batman and Robin.
Batman and Robin. I can't remember.
I believe it at least outperformed Batman Returns, and they were... So financially it was set for a sequel, but critically it was so bad they stopped doing it. I can't think of another time a franchise has done that.
Wow.
I mean, you could argue for Amazing Spider-Man 2, but with them it was a trend of each film was losing money, and they knew to kickstart a bunch of different franchise ones. They needed a big success, and they're like, no, these are getting less and less successful. Let's just give it to Marvel.
That'd be pretty good. So, that's been us for this week. Do you have any other pressing issues to bring up?
The fact that when it comes to Fox, I am terrified that the lesson they're going to take from Deadpool and from Logan, because apparently Logan's very good and it's like R-rated and stuff like that, is that they're going to reboot the Fantastic Four again, and they're going to make it like R-rated, either a comedy or possibly just something nihilistic and depressing. Well, they already tried that, so they'll go for comedy, and it'll be again the most horrific possible depiction of the Fantastic Four. And poor Stan Lee, the older he gets, the worse the Fantastic Four adaptations get.
Aww.
And considering that's his most beloved creation. And I got the feeling that he's going to get to a point where he's so old and the adaptations get so bad that he's going to start assuming he's got Alzheimer's and he's imagining it.
Aww.
It's so depressing.
But anyway, that has been Lesbian Talk, episode 110. Honey, I have been the Omega Geek, and who do you have want to have been this week?
Wendigo!